Greetings. It's your RTI interventionist for reading and math, Miss Tessie Sanders Matlock. Let's get started. Today, we are going to learn about adding suffix er and suffix ed to the ending of words. We're going to use suffix er to compare one thing to another. And we will use suffix est to compare two or more things. Again, what's the rule? Use suffix er to compare one thing to another. Use suffix est to the end of a word to compare two or more things. Let's get started with today's lesson. I'm excited. Are you excited? Good. Let's go. Teachers, make sure that every scholar around the room, adult learners, make sure that you have your reading or your writing journal or your language arts journal to take good notes. So let's take a look at suffix est first. We have, and if you have your readers, you see me searching for mine, put them on. We need them to read. Our first word is strong. Strong. S-T-R-O-N-G. I'm pointing out the spelling because the spelling is important. We're working with suffix er. So we're going to compare one thing to another. Look at the sentence. Okay? Her father is strong. Okay? Her father. So we're going to compare the father to one other subject. Her father is strong. So take a look at how this spelling is going to change for strong. We're just adding er to the end of the word. Stronger. Stronger. S-T-R-O-N-G-E-R. Stronger. Stronger. Let's take a look at the sentence. Bears get stronger as they grow older. Bears get stronger as they grow older. Okay, our first sentence was, her father is strong. Okay, that's if we were comparing her father to one other subject. Take a look. Now it's changed. The spelling has changed. Bears get stronger as they grow older. Let's tackle the next statement. Working with suffix er, comparing one thing to another. Dark, dark, dark. D-A-R-K, dark, dark. D-A-R-K. The room became dark when the lights were turned off. The room became dark when the lights were turned off. Dark, dark. Now let's add suffix er. Let's look at another sentence. Darker, darker, darker. D-A-R-K-E-R, darker. Take a look at the sentence. The sky is darker at night than in the afternoon. Look at that key word, than. Comparison. Comparing, okay, Mrs. Matlock, what is being compared? What's being compared here, Mrs. Matlock? What's being compared is the night sky to the afternoon skies. Look at the sentence again. The sky is darker at night than in the afternoon. So we're comparing that night sky to the sky in the afternoon as far as how it looks. Take a look at our next sentence. Weak, weak, weak. W-E-A-K. This is a homophone. It does not mean the day of the week. That's W-E-E-K. This is weak, as in strength or lack of having strength. W-E-A-K. Dawn was too weak to lift the weight. Too, meaning quantity, very. Dawn was very weak. That's another way of saying this statement. Dawn was too weak to lift the weight. Now let's add suffix er. Take a look at another meaning. Suffix er compares one thing to another. Weaker. W-E-A-K-E-R. Weaker. I am much weaker at playing baseball than soccer. Well, now, Professor Matlock, what's being compared here? Well, what's being compared is the subject, I, is weaker at playing baseball than, here's your context clue, soccer. Comparison. That's your clue, than. Okay? Comparing baseball to soccer and the ability to be able to play the sport. Great job. Awesome. Whoop, whoop. Good. Next. Cool. C-O-O-L. Reminds me of Morris Day and the Time. C-O-O-L. You don't know about Morris Day and the Time? They had a song called Cool. Cool. Keep the eggs cool by placing them in the refrigerator. Keep the eggs cool by placing them in the refrigerator. Cool. Now let's add suffix er. Let's compare one thing to another. Cooler. Cooler. C-O-O-L-E-R. C-O-O-L-E-R. Cooler. Take a look at the sentence. It is cooler inside my house than, hint, hint, outside. Stop and think. What is being compared here? Remember, suffix er compares one thing to another. Teachers, have the scholars write what is being compared in this sentence. It is cooler inside my house than outside. Good. What's being compared is the inside of the house as opposed to the outside. If you're living in Texas and that AC went out, then that can be a different type of balance now, can't it? It could be hotter on the inside than on the outside. Take a look. Next word. Thin. Thin. T-H-I-N. Thin. Juan is thin and slim. Juan is thin and slim. Thin is a synonym, meaning almost the same, as slim. Let's add suffix er. Take a look at what happens. The doubling rule applies. The doubling rule applies here for spelling. Thinner. T-H-I-N-N-E-R. Thinner. Tina's cat is thinner than her dog. There's that key word, than. Tina's cat is thinner than her dog. Stop and think. What is being compared? What two things are being compared? Take a moment and write down what two things are being compared. Yes, this is an interactive lesson. You are writing in your language journal or in your writing journal. Good. Teachers, what the students should have written is the cat is being compared to the dog. The thinness of the cat is being compared to the dog. And there's our key comparison word, than. Let's take a look at our next word. Good. Light. Light. L-I-G-H-T. Light. The small box is light. Wait. The small box is light. Okay, yes. Wanted to make sure that I wasn't looking at things wrong. The small box is light enough to carry. The small box is light enough to carry. For those that may be writing the sentence down, sentence dictation, the small box is light enough to carry. Now let's change the ending by adding suffix er. Good. Lighter. L-I-G-H-T-E-R. The feathers were lighter than the bricks. The feathers were lighter than the bricks. Stop and think. What two object nouns are being compared? Mrs. Matlock, did you say object nouns? Yes, I did. What two object nouns are being compared? The feathers were lighter than the bricks. Great. You should have written feathers is being compared to the bricks as far as how light they are, as far as how one thing is lighter than the other. Take a look at our last word for adding suffix er. Then we'll move to suffix est. Wide. Wide. W-I-D-E. Wide. We live on a very wide street. We live on a very wide street. Good. Now let's add suffix er. Take a look. Wider. W-I-D-E-R. Wider. The river gets wider after it, what? Rains. The river gets wider after it rains. Take a look. Now this requires critical thinking. The river gets wider after, sequence, it rains. What's it like before it rains? What is the river like before it rains? Are you thinking? Good. You're able to give some feedback on what the river is like before it rains. So that means that the river is not wide. That's because the land is not flooded. It's not dry. What happens to lakes, rivers, and streams when it rains? What happens to lakes, rivers, and streams when it rains? Good. They swell. They become bigger. Awesome. Good job. So remember, use suffix er to compare one thing to another, to compare one object noun to another. Now we're going to use suffix er. We're going to compare two or more things. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Large. Large. L-A-R-G-E. Large. Look at our sentence. The refrigerator, or well, let me take a look. Always need to make sure I'm reading correctly. I said the refrigerator. It's the firefighter. The firefighter drove a large truck. The firefighter drove a large truck. The firefighter drove a large truck. Good. I always have to remember my second language learners, my ELLs. Let's add ST. Okay, now we're going to just add ST to the word. We're going to compare two or more things. Look at the spelling. Largest, largest. He took the largest sandwich from the table. He took the largest sandwich from the table. Okay, that means that there were several other sandwiches on the table. He just so happened to take the largest one. Excellent. Next word, what is it? Good. Hard. Hard. H-A-R-D. D. Hard. Hard. H-A-R-D. The math quiz was really hard. The math quiz was really hard. The math quiz was really hard. So let's add suffix est. Remember, we are comparing one thing to several other things, or to one object noun to several other object nouns. Hardest, hardest. H-A-R-D-D-E-S-T. H-A-R-D-E-S-T. The spelling test was the hardest one yet. The spelling test was the hardest one yet. That means that this particular spelling test was harder than all of the other tests, which made it the hardest of all of the other spelling tests. You're getting it. Good job. And those that might be moving just a little slowly, you're processing just a little slowly. Your thumb was here. Now your think meter is here. Don't worry, it will rise to the top. It will rise to the top. You just have to practice. Fast, fast, F-A-S-T, fast. The football player ran fast. The football player ran fast. Let's add suffix est. Let's take a look. Fastest, fastest, F-A-S-T-E-S-T, fastest. I was the fastest swimmer on the team. I was the fastest swimmer on the team. I was the fastest swimmer on the team. Stop and think. Now, teachers, you're going to have the scholars compare what's being compared in I was the fastest swimmer on the team. Take a look. What is the subject I, or who is the subject I? See, the subject is I. Good. You stated that the swimmer is comparing himself, since this is a he, he's comparing himself to all of the other swimmers on the team. Good job. Excellent. Bright, bright, bright. B-R-I-G-H-T, bright, bright, bright. The lamb, let me turn it around. I said the lamb. I bet it's the lamp. It is. And it's always good to double check yourself. We do that sometimes. We could misread. Just slow down. The lamp on her desk is bright. The lamp on her desk is bright. The lamp on her desk is bright. Let's add EST. Take a look at the spelling. Brightest. B-R-I-G-H-T-E-S-T. Brightest. Brightest. The sun is the brightest star in the sky. The sun is the brightest star in the sky. Stop and think. What is the sun being compared to? Because suffix est means that you're comparing one object pronoun to other object pronouns, more than one. So what's in the sky? Okay, because it has to be more than one. You can't say the moon, because you would have to say the sun is brighter than the moon. So we're not comparing the sun to the moon. I know you're saying, doggone it, Professor Matlock. That was my answer. Good. You're comparing the sun to the stars. Here's your clue, star. The sun is a star. Yes. The sun is the brightest star in the sky. So that means that we are comparing the sun to all of the other stars in the galaxy. Here's our next word. Good. Flat. 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 F-L-A-T. Flat. A ball can roll on a flat surface. A ball can roll on a flat surface. Now, I've gotten my cards out of order. Here we are. Flattest. Flattest. Take a look. We're comparing one thing to another. Flattest. F-L-A-T-T. Doubling rule. Doubling rule. F-L-A-T-T-E-S-T. The desert is the flattest place on earth. The desert is the flattest place on earth. What's being compared? The desert is being compared to what? Good. The desert is being compared to other places on earth, such as mountain ranges, your hills, okay, your low-lying places on earth. Here is your last word in adding suffix est, sharp. Sharp. S-H-A-R-P. Sharp. The knife is sharp. The knife is sharp. Now let's add suffix est. Take a look. Sharpest. S-H-A-R-P-P-E-S-T. S-H-A-R-P-E-S-T. Which scissors are the sharpest? Which scissors are the sharpest? So I bought a visual. Which scissors are the sharpest? Will it be this one, this one, this one, or this one? So you are comparing one pair of scissors to them all, trying to find which one is the sharpest. You're doing a great job. We've ended the lesson. So here is an exit ticket. Just a think piece. New. New. Russ got new toys for his birthday. Russ got new toys for his birthday. So you're going to add EST to your sentence. Okay, you're going to spell new correctly, adding suffix EST. You're going to make your own sentence with the word new. You're going to compare it to more than one thing. You're going to pick an object pronoun and compare it to more than one thing. Remember the rule. When adding suffix EST, you're comparing one thing to another. I'll say that again for the people in the back. Teachers, you know how we always have those students that, and what was that? What did you say? Or you have those adult learners that were on their cell phone. Here's your exit ticket, new. You're not looking at this sentence. This is your exit ticket. You're using the word new and you're adding suffix EST. You're going to pick any object pronoun you choose. It's the creation of your sentence. Now we're going to take our word short. Remember, with short, you're going to add ER, suffix ER, to compare one thing to another. Your word is short. So you will add suffix ER onto short. Here's an example. Tony was too short to get on the ride. So an example sentence would be, Tony was shorter than his brother. Don't forget that word than. Tony was shorter than his brother. Okay? That's the end of our lesson. We had a good time comparing suffix ER and suffix EST, or meaning using suffix ER and suffix EST. So again, we add suffix EST onto the ending of a word when we're comparing more than one thing to another. And we use suffix ER when we're comparing just one object pronoun to one other thing. That's it. Bye-bye for now. Have a great learning day and keep reading and keep practicing. Bye-bye.